of housekeeping before I get Tony Micale up. Just to let you know that next week we play Perth and the game here is at 3:45, not the usual time of 2:15. So have regard to that. The Colts will be on around about 11. The reserves about 1:15, I think. So have regard to that. So you don't inconvenience yourself. And just another bit of housekeeping is that on Saturday the 24th of April, the players are having a race night here together with the girls from the Wembley Netball Club. So that'll be interesting at least to find out who wins the race and who gets there first or last. So we'll look forward to that. So any bookings you want to do, just get in touch with the club office and we'll do that. I think he's got a smile on his face for the first time in about 4 weeks, and deservedly so, certainly in the last quarter, but he can tell you all about it. Yeah, Coach.
Thanks, Bubbles. Firstly, thanks to the Peel Footy Club for coming back. I think it shows an enormous amount of character, particularly when you look at where you have to go. And after what happened today, I'm sure it's very difficult for you being here tonight. But the one thing that I got no doubt about that, and we'll get better too. But one thing that I think is very, very fortunate as far as the Peel Footy Club's concerned is that I'm a great believer that clubs have a heritage, and I really do believe that when I watch Peel, and I went down there last week and watched them, and they had instrumental on the ropes, leading by 5 goals at half time. You play with great spirit, and I think that's something that you can't build into a club. It's something that comes from your heritage, and you have that, and I think you're very, very fortunate. And I also think you're very, very fortunate in having people involved with the club in Trevor, your coach, and obviously two South Fremantle people in Ditchy, and I think I've got no doubt Marty Atkins is a wonderful acquisition with the footy club. Getting on to our awards, yeah, obviously it is pleasing. Actually, just as I flashed through the crowd, it'd be remiss of me not to acknowledge a couple of blokes that are in the crowd tonight, and the 2 guys that have just got wonderful memories with me and in our successful times, and it's great to have Devan come back to the footy club as our runner, a 3-time player. Great to have his input, and just we talk about heritage and spirit. He exemplifies all that, and the classic was I had a guy in the race say good day to me today, and I must admit I thought it was someone else, and when I got closer to him I was really disappointed in the fact that I didn't recognise him first up. But the terror's back, Andrew Waller, who played at 22 of Andrew Waller's playing for you every week, you certainly wouldn't lose all that often. Although Andrew informed me that he joined the army and he's in the SAS, and he went over to Afghanistan and all that. I'm disappointed you didn't find Bin Laden, Wallace. I thought you'd be a certainty. Anyway, getting on to our awards. Yeah, particularly pleasing to, and I guess Peel would probably, it's not a broadside Marty, but I would be a little bit interested in this, and we didn't play him purposely because we was playing against you guys, but it was an interesting scenario over the last month or so, and this guy's been at the footy club for a number of years and been starved of an opportunity, and he got it today, and he showed us today that he's arrived. I just hope he can retain that consistency. Tommy Howlett. Yeah.
Just thanks to Peel Thunder for staying back, and what a great game. Yeah, sorry about the confusion over the last month, but yeah, thanks.
Our third best award this week has gone to a young player that I feel as though I have some affiliation with, even although I don't know him all that well. Is that I spent 3 weeks when we had the reverse allocation going down to Fremantle and watching them train, and actually was berated by halves because he thought I was there spying, but I was down there having a look at the prospective allocated players, and was really pleased to be able to give this guy a 5, and he showed that last week. He played against West Perth on a very dangerous small forward, and again did the same thing today and really stood up when it counted, and he's a young player progressing very nicely, and I'm sure Fremantle would be pleased with that, and that's Dylan Roberton.
First off, thanks to Peel for sticking by, and good to our boys to win the 3 games. Haven't done it this year, so yeah, good, and hopefully get a win next week as well.
Probably an interesting story with this young bloke for our next trophy, our second best player today. I think, if I remember rightly, he was playing amateurs a couple of years ago, and our football manager had noticed him playing at that particular time and mentioned him, and we got him along. He played in defence for the Colts last year and was impressive. And we got him up, and obviously he did his pre-season with us this year. Funny story about it is that we've got one of those guys that come to training, and I think all clubs have got them, that sort of sit there very unobtrusively, don't say anything, week in, week out. They're at every training session, and you know, I thought, unbelievable commitment by this guy, unbelievable support, so I thought I'd better go over and talk to him. So I talk to him quite regularly when I go out to training now, and I actually felt for this guy because we were 0-3, and I went up to him last night. I very rarely do it, never ever done it in my life, and I said, I'll get you 4 points tomorrow, mate, no worries. So I was walking down the grandstand tonight, and he's standing there leaning against the wall, and he said, "You all right?" And he said, "Young bloke's absolutely wrapped." And I said, "Are you a dad of one of the players, are you?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm Dean Cadwallader's father." So it's nice to have met him, and it's certainly been very nice to have his young bloke playing footy for us, because he's an exciting prospect, and he's been playing some good footy over recent weeks. So well done, Dean, on second best award tonight.
Thanks to the new boys for sticking by. Well done, Brawny, Colts boys, Beansy in the reserves, yeah, and to our boys that took the track, and have another next week.
Thanks for that. Our best player tonight has gone to, again, a very similar story to Dean. He left the club last year, played amateurs, and played in all of our scratchies, was dropped last week, and it's just great to see the character that when these guys go through that and come in. I think he had something like 36 possessions today and was extremely good for him. He gives us the mix that we need through the midfield, and as I say, played extremely well, and that was Aaron Sweet.
Yeah, cheers Phil for coming back. Also to all the supporters that have come back. It's good to see everyone showing up when we have a win finally. So, just to all the other 3 grades, that's awesome. Especially to the younger boys that come up on the league side. Really proud of the way he's went. And hopefully we have another win next week. So thanks.
Yeah, as far as our league side is concerned, is that we've now set ourselves a short-term goal for our members that are here tonight, and it's very important for us over the next 2 weeks. We've got to buy at the end of those 2 weeks that you know, we return the dividends so that we can go into the buy 3 and 3 at 50%, and you know, we're in probably a better position than what we were last year. So we've got 2 very important games. We look forward to your support next week against Perth, and then the following week Subiaco. Before I sit down again, I'd really like to pass on my regards, and as far as the players are concerned, the player group, to Craig Lancy, who had a horrific injury last week, and has been very, very unfortunate right throughout his career, and it's great to see him up and about and managing to get himself here tonight. Something that gives me a great deal of pleasure as well. It's really, really pleasing to see tomorrow Fremantle play Geelong, and it would be remiss of me again not to mention one of our young blokes that was with us last year, Mitch Duncan, and it's an enormous effort to see him break into a side of such immense strength and talent, and to see the way he played last week. I think it's absolutely fantastic, so all of the East Perth supporters should be proud of that, and I also believe Ben Stratton's been selected for his first game tomorrow with Hawthorn, so well done to our East Perth players and our development players.